All the tools used in this and all of our videos are available at the Bow Tuning Tips online store. Be sure to check them out at bowtuningtips.com. Hey everybody, you know, a couple years ago I did a video showing you guys how to determine your draw length by using a yardstick placed between your hands and holding it against your neck, and you would get your draw length. Okay, now that gets you kind of an average or kind of close to what your draw length is. Draw length is kind of funny. I know guys who have a 30-inch draw length but prefer to shoot a bow that has a 29-inch draw length. And I know some guys that have a shorter draw length that try to shoot a longer draw length bow just to gain a little bit more speed. Now that's all fine as long as you can maintain consistency, okay? But I think that everybody out there, just like knowing what size shoes you wear and what size boots, you need to know what your draw length is. I mean, what your actual draw length is. And the only real way to determine that is by using a draw length bow. And that's what I'm going to show you guys how to use today. A draw length bow is really kind of a light poundage bow. It's either left-handed or right-handed. You can draw it with fingers or you can draw it with release, which makes a difference when you're determining your draw length. Some guys have a different, everybody has a different draw length from fingers to using a release. If you're a finger shooter, there's a lot of guys out there who still use fingers, then you should be checking your draw length with the draw length bow using your fingers. Release shooters, same thing. If you're using a D-loop, same thing. You got to use the D-loop because that makes your draw length a little shorter because it actually extends the back of the string per se. It makes the string a little farther back behind the nock rather than being under the nock of the arrow. Okay. The one that I use is I've been using for a long time. It's got an arrow with increments on it, inch measurements. It also the great thing is the way this works is this arrow will also check how long my arrows need to be on my bow. Once I get my bow set up, get my draw length all set, and I'm getting ready to build some arrows, I find my size out, all that stuff on the charts of whatever brand I'm going to use, and then I put the arrow on my bow. I draw it back, and either I can do it. Most of the time I'd rather have someone else do it because it's kind of hard to hold your bow at full draw and look around, so you need someone else to look. You know, you get somebody to look out there and find out what the length of your arrow is. But the great thing is you can take the arrow after you get that done, go right over to the bow saw and cut it off at that measurement, boom, and your arrows are going to be exactly the right length. So it's kind of a cool little tool. It's got a lot of different things you can use it for. It's a multi-tool again, you know. I like things that are multiple uses. That way it saves space, it saves time, and when you pay for something, you get a little more use out of it rather than just one thing. So that's what this is. This arrow has 3 different uses. It can check your draw length, it can check your arrow length, and it can also help you cut your arrows to the right length. Okay. Now the bow that it comes with is just a light poundage recurve that anybody can draw, and like I said before, it's left-handed or right-handed. Okay, and it's just simple. You basically can knock your arrow up just like that, and then you just draw your bow, and you draw it naturally. You anchor to the natural point that you're going to anchor. Okay, like I said, if you're using a release, you want to have the release. And I would suggest if you're going to go buy a bow or you're going to go find out what your draw length is, either find a release that they have at the shop that like the one you use, or if you're going to buy a new one, just buy one right then and use it to determine your draw length. Because the thing about releases are they're adjustable to the size of your hand. You know, that's why I'm doing this video, is because I got a lot of guys that talk about the wingspan method of measuring, where you stretch your arms out like so, and they measure how long it is from the end of your fingers and then divide it by 2.5, and it comes up with the draw length. It gets you close though, see? It's not 100% because you start adding in factors like a release shooter, start adding in factors like a D-loop, that all changes, okay? You start taking guys' dimensions. I know guys that have really long arms. Me, I'm a gorilla arm guy. You know, my knuckles drag the ground. So I've got like long arms. I'm only 5'11", but I got a 30-inch draw. And so that's kind of the thing. You know, I don't know what my wingspan is. I've never done that way. But I'm going to show you guys real quick how to use this bow, and show you a couple ways I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it with a release. I'm going to do it with my fingers. The draw length will be taken from right here at the front of my knuckle, where my knuckle's at. The arrow has increments on it, and I'm going to draw it back, anchor, and I'm going to step around to the front of the camera so you guys can get a reading and see what it is, because it's kind of hard for me to see. I'm going to try to look around and see, and maintain my draw length, but I'm going to have to look, and I'll let you guys see exactly what it's going to be. So I'm going to draw the bow back, anchor like normal. All right. And I'm right at 30 inches, it looks like. Right about 29.5, 30 inches right there. Okay. That's me drawing back and anchoring just like it would be if I was shooting my Z7. Okay. The next measurement I'm going to take is I'm going to hook up underneath my D-loop like I would be if I was hooking directly to the string. A lot of guys still shoot that style. Okay, you want to draw back. Now, when I did this before, one thing, when I used to shoot like that, I would always draw back and try to get the fletching in the corner of my mouth as much as I could. All right, so now I'm going to draw this back, bring the fletching to where the fletching would be, the corner of my mouth. And look at there. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. That's like 30.5. So that made a 1/2 inch difference. That's about the length of that D-loop. So having the D-loop on there is going to be about a 1/2 inch. Well, I'm going to flip the release around. I'm going to grab hold of it with my fingers. 1 up, 2 down. I'm going to see what it would be if I was shooting with my fingers. Now, the style I used to use when I shot with fingers is I would draw back, and I would always bring my fingers to the corner of my mouth, and I would release from there. And the reason I did that with compounds is because I was a snap shooter with the longbows and the recurves when I shot those back when I was younger. And I would bring it back to the corner of my mouth, and as soon as I felt my fingers hit the corner of my mouth, I would let that arrow go. With a compound, I would hold to get my aim, and I would shoot, but I would always come there. It was just a habit of having that repetition of putting my finger in the corner of my mouth. So that's how I'm going to draw this bow. Okay, I'm going to draw it back right there. Step around, and look at that. It's like 28 inches. It's 28 inches. I mean, that's a huge difference. That's 2 inches difference from being drawing it with my D-loop. You know, I mean, that's just insane. So that shows you the difference between the different styles of shooting. Well, that's this week's tip. You know, guys, knowing your exact draw length with whatever type of style shooter you are is very important in order to get yourself a bow that fits you as close as possible to what your dimensions are. Until next week, you guys be sure to stay tuned. I'll see you then. All the tools used in this and all of our videos are available at the Bow Tuning Tips online store. Be sure to check them out at bowtuningtips.com.